Hey class, for this week we're going to spend some time reviewing some of the concepts we learned in Stats 1. I'm not going to give a formal lecture of any of the concepts this week since we kind of already did that in Stats 1. Rather, I'm just going to kind of go through the module here in this video and really show you all the resources that are available and kind of just help you out along through this week. For each module, kind of always start with the README. Here we can see, it gives you a basic idea of what we're doing. Some assigned readings, you can look in the Tabachnik and Fidel, Chapter 3. If you have the Graviter and Walnu book, these are the basic chapters that we're covering. And then you can also find a link to the assignment and quiz in here too. There are also some helpful resources in here. If you took me for Stats 1, this math review PowerPoint and what our statistics PowerPoint will probably be familiar. These are just to kind of provide you, a basic overview in case you forgot, like the math PowerPoint goes over orders of operations. It tells you about what the summation symbol means and how you kind of interpret some of the different math symbols that we'll see. And then what our statistics PowerPoint kind of just gives you another brief overview in case you forgot from the time between Stat 1 and 2, what are some statistics. So you can see here in the math review PowerPoint, we're going over just some basic mathematic and algebraic concepts. We have the orders of operations in here, the summation symbol. Oh, it looks like it's not coming out through here. I'll see if I can fix that and re-upload this. The summation symbol shown as a question mark instead of the Greek symbol sigma. We can also, here's what our statistics PowerPoint, kind of gives you a nice little overview of statistics and, interpreting some graphs and little things like that. Like I said, if you took me for Stats 1, this would all be a review for you. Also provided here, right here, a review of concepts from Stats 1 is just kind of some general overview, just notes. I mean, it's not a very comprehensive overview, but just kind of gives you a reminder of the different concepts, different things we talked about in Stats 1. It gives you an overview of different measures of central tendency. If you don't remember exactly what the mean, median, or mode are, you can read about that. It also links in here some helpful videos. So if you prefer to watch some different YouTube videos about these different procedures, I've tried to link to some of those in these in this document. Here we have different measures of variability, some different characteristics of each of those. Again, some different YouTube videos if you like that. Correlation, what is a correlation? Specifically, I talk about here the Pearson product moment correlation. And, again, more videos you can see. Also given here, the Pearson's product moment correlation is probably the most widely used and the one we're going to probably focus on here. And a lot of different statistics are based off it, but it's not necessarily the only correlation coefficient. So here are some others you might see depending on your field and what different statistics you'll actually get into. You might come across some of these other ones. I think in Stat 1 we talk a little bit about Spearman's row and Kendall's tau. If you take an item response theory or psychometric class, you might talk about, some polychoric correlations or biserial correlations and those type of courses. You don't have to know these. This is just kind of just so you know there are other things out there. Some information on, chi-square test of independence. independent samples, t-test. In the next module, we're actually going to build off of the dependent samples t-test, and we talk about the repeated measures ANOVA. We're going to take the concepts that we learned about one-way ANOVA and about dependent samples t-test and kind of combine them together. So it's a good idea to review dependent samples t-test and especially one-way ANOVA. Here's some more information on one-way between subjects ANOVA. Like I said, we're really going to build off this idea too in both like factorial ANOVA designs. In the one-way ANOVA, we had one independent variable that had 3 or more levels. In factorial ANOVA, we're going to have, you can have 2 or more independent variables with differing number of levels. So make sure you understand the concepts in one-way between subjects ANOVA. I tried to provide you a lot of different resources. I have some more examples and helpful resources there too, because we're really going to build off these concepts. So make sure you really understand what's going on in ANOVA. Here I've listed some of the ANOVA assumptions, different effect sizes on ANOVA, different post-hoc tests you could do. And then I have, here's another document you'll find on Canvas that gives you an example of running a one-way between subjects ANOVA. And I'll show you that one next. And then lastly, there's just a fun video that some students don't know where they're at made. It's a little kind of song and dance video about some of the statistics we'll be talking about in class. It's just kind of fun if you want to check that out. Here's that example of a one-way between subjects ANOVA. You can see it right here. Example of one-way between subjects ANOVA. Then we'll take you to this. You can kind of look at kind of how to interpret then the SPSS output. I try to go in here and, what are we looking for? What is that telling you? There's also on here, so, in each module, we're going to have a data analysis assignment and a quiz. And just to kind of give you an idea of how the data analysis assignments work, for this module, I provided you with a practice assignment. So you see here, this is what the actual assignment will look like. The research scenario is different and the data are different, but the questions that it asks you to do are pretty similar. So here I have an example of a correlation analysis, a dependent samples t-test, and a one-way between subjects ANOVA. What I would recommend is you go through this practice assignment on your own, answer all the questions, and then you can come back and look at the answer key for the practice assignment and see how you did. So, I have a blank assignment you can look at first, and then here is basically an answer key for it. So you can check kind of what you did to what, I have, kind of the results that I found and see where you made a mistake. If you did try to figure out what you did wrong, you can come to me and ask me, we can work through it together. To figure out where you kind of went wrong. But so I tried to provide the output, kind of different things we're looking at in the output, and how I would write up the results that we found for this practice assignment. And you'll notice this practice assignment is very similar to the actual assignment for this class or for this lesson rather. You can see it had 3 problems, and it's going to be the same 3: a correlational analysis, a dependent samples t-test, and a one-way between subjects ANOVA. So you should know kind of what you're looking for. And then, as always, there's a quiz for this module. And that's basically all that we got going on this week. I want to give us some time to make sure we're caught up on the concepts we learned in the previous class, just because we're going to build off all of those for the rest of the semester. So I want to make sure we have a solid foundation. So let's take the time now, kind of get that foundation. As always, if you have any questions, you can post them to the message board. You can email me. We can set up an appointment to meet Zoom or in face-to-face if you're in Knoxville. I'm happy to meet, answer any questions. Best of luck, and I'll be seeing you soon. Thanks.